Happy New Year, friendlies. It's 2019 here in Blythe, California on the Colorado River, and wishing you all a very happy New Year. I'm going to do probably 2 videos today or another one tomorrow, updating you on the RTR. And for those of you who don't know, the Cheap RV Living Rubber Tramp Rendezvous is happening in Arizona starting next week. It's a huge event for people who want to live in RVs and vans, and people who do. I will put a link to his YouTube channel actually, I think I can put a link up here, so I'll do that. But anyway, I'm going to be doing separate videos about the RTR because I know not everybody is interested in the RTR. But today, it's all about Happy New Year. And I have been down in the area. I've been with friends. I even spent Christmas with one of the caravans, and have been camping kind of on and off with a couple of friends, and I'm in pretty good spirits. It's been, still having my moments of sadness and still trying to adjust to my life alone, but being around people, and I've been busy, spent a little bit of time helping prepare for the WRTR, one day running errands, and that's the women's RTR for those of you who don't know, and that's happening in Baus, Arizona, and it starts this Thursday. Yes, I will be there, but again, I'm going to do a separate video. But yes, I have been keeping busy, been working and spending really good time with really good people, and I hope you are too. It's the new year. A lot of people are thinking about the year gone by, the year past. I hope you all enjoyed my trip to Alaska with me. What did you think about the Northern Lights video? I mean, the video doesn't do it justice, of course, because I couldn't capture it on video and I only got the stills, but the movement of it, and being out there by myself, and the stark silence and the dark, and it's just this mysterious glow in the sky and the way it moved. It's the Northern Lights. A lot of you, and I'm not editing this, I'm just going to put it up. A lot of you have said that the Northern Lights are on your bucket list, and yeah, it needs to be on your bucket list. I mean, again, I'm not going to edit. How are we doing here? It needs to be on your bucket list. That was quite a thing to see. Pretty darn amazing. But I hope you enjoyed. What a year. I was actually looking at videos yesterday. I left the desert probably last March and slowly made my way up through the western states to get to Alaska. I spent about 4 or 5 weeks traveling through Canada, and finally getting to Alaska, I think in mid-May, and I just finished up my trip to Alaska because I shoot a lot. A lot of you have been complimenting me on the video coverage that I did of Alaska, and I really appreciate all the kind words. One of the benefits of my life is that I don't have to do everything in 2 weeks, and I got to see the whole state. I got to live in Alaska for 3.5 months, and boy, I feel really fortunate that I got to do that. And I feel really fortunate that I got that last wonderful adventure with my buddy. And, I'm missing him, but I'm kind of getting to the point where not thinking about him constantly is making me sad. That's kind of where I am right now, that it's been almost 3 months, and life is starting to feel normal without him, and of course that makes me sad. So it's New Year's resolutions. I don't do resolutions because I try to live my life day by day. I've never believed in resolutions, I don't know. I think my resolutions are every day. I heard something interesting on the radio just now getting here. They polled a whole bunch of people and said, what are your resolutions for this year? And I want you all, I'm going to give you a second. What's your resolution for this year? Think about it. Write it down if you want. Get a piece of pen and paper. Do you know what the #1 resolution was? You can probably guess. To eat more healthfully. I guess that's the grammatically way. I would have said more healthy, but they said healthfully on the radio on NPR. So I'm going to trust that that's how you say it. I'm going to try to get out of the wind because it's cold. But to eat more healthfully, and second was, I think, to make more money. And that's interesting. That might be what you would expect. Guess what the #1 resolution was in 1952? To be a better person. And I thought that was really interesting and really telling about where we are as a society. I talk a lot about finding your authentic self, and being true to yourself and living life for you. And a lot of people might think that that's really self-centered and narcissistic and selfish. But I was just having a conversation with, oh shoot, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. I've been meeting a lot of viewers. I've met so many people. And we had a really good conversation about how setting boundaries is really important for being able to continue to give yourself. And that really made me think about my life and how I feel so responsible. This is a result of my upbringing. I feel so responsible for everybody else, and I feel guilty when I can't be everything everybody wants me to be. And the reason I share this is because I don't think it's just a part of my dysfunctional upbringing. I think it's a part of women's upbringings, in that, you know, our role as caretaker and put ourselves second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th on the list and take care of everybody else first. But I do believe that sometimes, you know, I was going to say sometimes we have to be selfish, but I don't think taking care of ourselves is selfish. We have to take care of ourselves first, or we have nothing left to take care of everybody else. And I was talking to the viewer that I met the other day. Your name is on the tip of my tongue. It's got like 3 syllables, I think. And, you know, my guilt, and I feel guilty for not being able to respond to everybody's emails and not being able to answer everybody's questions and not being able to be what a lot of you want me to be when you write to me and, you know, want to meet me. And I mean, I feel guilty about that. And then she helped me realize that I have to be kinder to myself first and not feel so guilty, because if I gave myself to every individual who wants me, I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't have energy to be able to do this. And for me, this is how I feel like I'm doing good in the world, by sharing myself, sharing my story, sharing my process, my experience, and in fact, and making fun of myself a little bit. I think I told you I got stuck recently, really, really bad. They had to pull me out sideways. Stay tuned. That video is I'm gonna do it really soon, because I learned a lot of lessons from that. So I share myself, even though I make stupid mistakes sometimes. And I've said, go back and watch my first video. I believe in the very first video I ever made, I said I'm a cautionary tale. I never ever tried to say that I'm an expert in anything, but you know, I fly through life oftentimes seemingly by the seat of my pants. But you know, I learn a lot as I go by taking the risks that I take. And so, you know, back to resolutions in 1952. I think that for me, I don't believe in resolutions. I try to be a better person every day. And to me, being a better person first and foremost means taking care of myself, setting healthy boundaries, taking the time that I need to recharge and regroup, allowing myself to be human and make mistakes. That's the hardest thing for me. I beat the crap out of myself, and I think a lot of you can probably relate to this. I make a mistake, I lose my temper, I say something I regret, and I spend days, weeks, hours beating myself up about it, instead of giving myself the same leeway I would give someone else. I would give a friend who maybe hurt my feelings or said something harmful to me. I would probably eventually forgive them, and but I have a hard time forgiving myself. All right, so maybe that's it. Maybe you know, maybe I guess on this day of reflection and introspection, maybe the message is, I don't think losing weight and making more money are necessarily going to help other people, but taking care of yourself, and maybe that does mean losing weight. Maybe as long as you know what, maybe it does. Maybe as long as you're obsessed about your weight, as many of us are or have been, maybe there's no room in your life for compassion and empathy for other people. And so maybe losing weight, or at least getting healthy, is something that you need to do to be a more whole person. Maybe making money too. Maybe, yeah, all right, here, see, I was being a little judgmental. I can be judgmental. And maybe making money is also something that you need to do. I mean, if you're living hand to mouth, yeah, hand to mouth, and you know, you're constantly stressed and worried about making rent, then you know, you also can't be there for other people. So all right, so maybe my New Year's resolution is to be less judgmental. And to be, actually, I was watching a video last night on School of Life, I think it was, is the channel, School of Life. And it talked about how you can use love to love people who harm you or something like that. And it was interesting. I mean, it was pretty pedantic, is that the word? Pedantic. I think that might be the word. I use words and I don't know if it's the right word. Let's pretend it is. Pretty, pretty straightforward, pretty Psych 101. And but it's just something that I constantly have to remind myself to have love and empathy for everyone, even those who sometimes I feel don't deserve it, I guess. And so maybe, on this day of reflection and introspection, maybe that's a message for myself and I'm going to share, and maybe food for thought for everybody. And that if, number one, if we don't take care of ourselves first, we have nothing left for anybody else. And I truly believe that. I know that that's the case for me. And for years, you know my story. For those of you who've been following me for a while, I gave and gave and gave and gave, and didn't take proper care of myself. And at the end of the day, I gave so much and I didn't know how to take care of myself, and so I did unhealthy things, I guess. But all right, I don't know, did I make any sense? Because I kind of didn't really know. I turned on the camera to say Happy New Year, kind of thinking about talking about resolutions and taking care of ourselves, but I don't really plan most of the time what I'm going to say when I turn on the camera, especially for videos like this. What are your thoughts? What are you doing on this new day of 2019? It's a little sad that I'm going into a new year without my dog, my buddy, my best friend, and I don't really know what this year is going to look like for me. I have some ideas and some thoughts and some plans, but nothing is really set in stone yet. And I don't know. I think it might look a little different though than it has in the last couple of years, but we'll see. So how about you? What are you doing today? What are you thinking about? What are you looking back on 2018? What lessons are you learning about yourself, about your relationships, about your life? And what do you hope 2019 brings? Let's do that. So leave your comments. Let's have a group discussion, a friendly discussion about all of those things, okay? And thank you so much. I'm starting season 3, by the way, because my seasons since last year have been a calendar year. So this will be the first video of season 3. This will be season 3, episode 1 of Carolyn's RV Life. Woohoo! So we'll see what 2019 brings. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being with me, the support that you give me, the emails, the comments, everything that you do to support me and my channel just means so much to me. And I've said it a million times, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't still be here. And I don't just mean that because if you weren't watching, I wouldn't have a channel. But I mean the moral support that you have all just been here, and I really do feel like you are on this journey with me. And I do just want to say each and every one of you helps keep my channel going by watching my videos, especially sharing my videos, watching all the way through. And and I have to say a special shout out and a special thank you today to the 256 or 257 patrons I have, who without you I would probably only be doing this once in a while. I'd make, I think, really 1 video a month. I think about it a lot. As many of you know, this life is and especially when I meet you face to face, I talk about how challenging this is for me. Sometimes I really just want to be invisible. A lot. I really just want to be invisible. In fact, I've noticed like half of my wardrobe right now is camouflage. I think I just kind of want to melt into the background. And, not that I'm visible in my day-to-day life. I'm very visible down here. Everywhere I go, I'm getting recognized. Oh, let me talk about that. I love when you approach me when I'm out there. I think I've not done a really good job of explaining my situation or my boundaries or my ask, because people come up to me and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I know you don't like people bothering you. No, I don't think I've ever said that. I'm sorry if it sounded like I did. When I am out, if in the grocery store, at the gas station, getting propane, or if you're my tow truck driver, I'm having a lot of those lately. please tell me you recognize me, say hi or whatever, because what happens is I'm getting gas and I notice somebody looking at me and I'm like, okay, is that a friendly or is that a stalker or is that just some weirdo? You know, I don't know. And so it's always a relief when you do say hi, because my intuition tells me somebody recognizes me or they notice me, and I don't know if it's, you know, and I know a lot of you are probably shy, but please, if you see me at the RTR, if you see me at the women's RTR, if you see me in town getting gas or at the grocery store, please come say hi to me. I love meeting you. The only ask that I have ever had is please don't come into my camp. Don't knock on my door. And people still do. And it's really awkward for me because you come into my camp and you see me sitting there because my door is open and I'm going to be rude. I feel like I'm going to be rude if I ignore you. I mean, what? So I ask you not to come into my camp. You come into my camp anyway. I see you, I hear you, and I come out and close the door. That really puts me in an awkward position, and I would rather that you didn't. And I've also said before, for safety, when you come into my camp, I don't know if you're a friend or foe. And I don't know, no matter how many times I say that, people still come knocking on my door. So maybe I'll say this: you come knocking on my door and I'm going to spray you with bear spray. Not really. I'm going to get a lot of crap for that. Really, no matter where I am, whether I'm at the women's RTR, whether I'm at the RTR, if I'm camped, if I'm at my rig and I'm not out, you know, in civilization, I would really rather you don't come knocking on my door. Again, I don't know who's friend and who's foe. And, you know, I know people get really excited and really want to meet me, and that's so flattering, and I'm so honored. And I'm so honored that you take the risk to come over and say hi, because I know for a lot of people that's really hard to do. So, leave your comments. What about last year? You know, what are you thinking? What, you know, kind of summarizing your year and what you think as you go year, you know, what you're reflecting on, what you hope is better, new, improved, or different for 2019, and how you're going to get there. I think that's the important part. How are you going to get there? All right. Oh, and I started saying thank you. Thank you to all the patrons. I think that's where I left off. Thank you all to the patrons, because without you, I wouldn't be making as many videos. I would still have a day job. I would still be consulting or doing something else. And thanks to patrons, I'm still able to do 2 to 3 videos a week. And I'm able to do the quality videos that I do, and not just do videos like this one. I'm able to do travel videos and really spend quality time on videos. But thank you all. Each and every one of you is extremely important to me, and I wouldn't be here without you. So happy New Year, happy 2019. Have a wonderful, safe day. Have a happy 2019, and I'll see you again real soon. In the meantime, be happy, be free, and be kind. See you soon. Woof.